day, another day of life, another day we have the opportunity to share your story. Father, we thank you for the men and women who are gathered here today to conduct the business of the county. And as always, Father, we ask you to be with the men and women who protect and serve us each and every day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Roll call. Testing. Yeah. Roll call.
Sandy Roof.
Here.
Craig Miller.
Here.
David Kelch.
Here.
Danny Holleran. Debbie Mayfield. Here. John Scott.
Here.
Heather Brumley. Here. Kevin Gerald.
Here.
We'll now move on to the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on March 25th, 2026. If everyone's had time to review those, I will ask for a motion on the floor for approval.
Motion.
Motion by Debbie Mayfield. Do I have a second?
Second.
Danny Holleran. Any discussion or corrections? Call for a vote.
Craig Miller.
Yes.
David Kelch.
Yes.
Danny Holleran.
Yes.
Debbie Mayfield.
Yes.
John Scott.
Yes.
Heather Brumley.
Abstain, I was absent.
Kevin Gerald.
Here. Yes.
Judge Teagarden.
Yes.
Sandy Roof.
Yes.
Under old business, road department update, Stacy Floor.
We finished the slip project on Thompson Road that was drilled, T-rail was drilled last November. We dug everything out, put our railroad ties and backfilled the rock, so it's done. We've been co-patching, we've trimmed some trees on 3 or 4 roads. Took all the sanders off, pressure washed them, and put them up for the year. We helped set a container out to the Oak County barn for the dog shelter, leveled it up. And Donnie Stitt is putting a roof on the front part of the section, started yesterday at the barn, out here to our barn. And last thing is we're cleaning up a dump truck load of trash that somebody left us on Holtz Creek.
And the roof situation was an insurance claim.
Yes.
It was a wind claim.
Stacy, thanks for the rock on Bee Run Road. The owners really appreciated that. Thank you.
Anything further for Stacy Floor this morning?
Where was that on Holtz Creek, Stacy? North AA or south?
North, right there where the big dirt pile is.
At the parking pool?
Somebody left a big pile of shingles and roofing stuff. So we're loaded up, taking it to the landfill this morning.
Okay, moving on, animal shelter expansion. We have that tabled until we hear from the company that done our drawings. Property looking at state surplus, we're going to table that. New business, this morning we have the coroner Chris Cummins with us, and he wants to discuss salary for coroner and deputies for an increase for the term. Thank you for coming this morning, Chris.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. So as your letters in your folders there I put in, and per conversations, I'm looking for a raise of $4,971 for myself, $2,017.50 per deputy, for a total of $9,006 amongst the 3 of us. And if you guys, you can read over that. You can vote today if you want, and if you want to take time to look it over, that's fine too.
This will be for our upcoming fiscal year 26-27
It
budget.
will, yeah,
Okay.
July to July. And you'll see those, Miller brings up, those numbers are based on that proposed budget, the new, from July 26 to July 27. So it wouldn't take effect till then.
And I've got the monthly breakdowns, if anyone needs those.
And Chris, other than your salaries, we contribute nothing to the coroner's office, correct?
There's budget, we have an expense account, cell phone stuff. Mine's roughly $300 a month. The deputies is roughly $100 a month.
But I'm talking like supplies, things that you need to do that job.
We have some stuff in the budget that, like this term, I've turned in a reimbursement for HR pouches, body bags, and that was it. We could turn in some other PPE stuff. A lot of times I choose not to because you don't want to say commingle stuff, but for my private business, I also use that stuff, and I don't think it would be ethical for me to charge you for gloves that I may use 3 sets for the county and 6 sets for me, so it's easier to keep it on me, if that makes sense.
And if anybody's followed the couple of different proposed General Assembly bills the last 2 sessions, the Coroners Association has been lobbying heavily to have a set salary per county, per size across the state, basically in 4 or 5 different classifications, just how our judge executive, sheriff, clerk, their salaries are set. Their minimum beginning salary that they are looking for a county of our size was $26,000 to $28,000. Going up, obviously, in size of population. You know, it didn't pass in '25. It did not pass this past session, but they thought that it was going to get through. So, you know, my guess is the state is going to try to mandate this at some point, and we won't be prepared for a $26,000, $28,000, $30,000. You know, that's just the coroner salary only, and not counting their deputies and every other thing. So, you know, this amount is well below what they are asking for their beginning population size. And I think if we, you know, now that Chris has brought this to us, if we start to prepare at this level, hopefully we're not unprepared in 3, 4, 5 years down the road.
I believe that Lois, the treasurer, had given us a financial statement, and when you look through those accounts, you'll be able to see what we actually have budgeted for the coroner's department and what we've actually spent since last July, and it's very minimal, and it's usually like that every year.
Yeah.
So Heather, I looked at what Lois just gave us. The coroner's operating supplies is budgeted at $8,000. They've only had claims since last July of $573.12.
Chris, your deputies, they're on call, what, 24 hours?
Yeah, well, the 3 of us, I just make sure that we have 24-hour coverage no matter what, and one has a full-time job outside of the coroner's office also. So it's 2 of us usually during the days and 3 at night, just depending on the situation and what it is. But yeah, we have somebody here all the time. You know, it's just, and usually always try to have 2. That way, if EMS is out on the scene or the sheriff's office is always there before we are, and when, you know, we try to answer the call as quick as we can, that way it frees them up in case we would have another call. So.
Chris, I was wanting just to be as transparent as possible because I know the things that the coroner's office does that we don't help with. And I just wanted you to kind of let the people that don't have this stuff in front of us know that.
Right.
So, and because of that, I would make a motion that we vote on this today to accept his recommendation on salaries.
I would second that. It's beyond reasonable.
Thank you.
So we have a motion by Heather Brumley to approve those salaries. We have a second by Sandy Roof. Is there any further discussion? Call for a vote.
David Kelch,
Yes.
Danny Holleran,
Yes.
Debbie Mayfield,
Yes.
John Scott,
Yes.
Heather Brumley,
Yes.
Kevin Gerald,
Yes.
Judge Teagarden,
Yes.
Sandy Roof,
Yes.
Craig Miller.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys. And like I said, I know you all know, if anybody has any questions or anything, just call me. Thank you.
Animal Shelter Monthly Report, we have our co-directors, Heather Honan and Aaron Childers, here with us this morning, and you do have a report that I handed out this morning, and then you had intake and outtake numbers of dogs that was in your folders. And if you pull all of those out, that's what they'll be discussing this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So you guys have all the papers. And I don't, so I'm looking on my phone. But I believe we had 20 intakes and 24 outcomes for dogs last month. A little slower month, but that's fine.
Is your mic on? Maybe point it towards you or something, maybe. There you go.
Okay.
Because I'm having trouble hearing.
Okay. All right, so, as far as what was written up on the report, I know we put in there, the different grants and stuff that we had applied for. We haven't heard back for either of those, other than the one, Who Will Let the Dogs Out did donate the $2,000 towards the surgeries last month. And then B. Kane covered the balance after the community donated $460-something. So those surgeries were fully covered. Our fundraisers, we're doing the shoe drive until the end of May, and then we're doing the spring fling on April 25th, which I know we talked about before. But since then, we do have a food truck lined up, and a bunch of different people are coming to, like vendors or whatever, so should be a big thing. We started working with 3 new rescues. We had one take Harry all the way to Chicago, a new hound rescue, and then the League for Animal Welfare in Batavia is going to start working with us to take dogs when they have space also. One of the other, I guess, like, we've talked a lot about like different shelters working together across the counties and across the state and stuff. They started a chat for statewide for different shelters and rescues to be in contact and get help with dogs who really need it and whatever. They have transport setups and everything. So I thought that was really cool. This month we also got food from the food that we talked about last time from Mason County. So we had a donation from them. We had a donation from Grant County. So we're working together, which is great. We did make corrections or changes to the ordinances and turn those in for approval from whoever. What else?
We read through the ordinances and could not find where it said that it was a set $40 for the adoption fee. So are we able to raise that and get that put in there?
Beth is working on it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
When you gave those copies to me, I told Erin that I was giving those copies to Beth. She usually will highlight the new things before she hands them out to the court.
Okay.
And then we all read and discuss and have a couple of weeks to look them over.
Great. And then
Our building was knocked down, the storage building that was falling apart. All the debris has been removed, thank you. Our storage container is in place and we're gonna start loading that today, actually. Yeah, donations. The Amazon donations on your list was $29.05.40. As of this morning, it was 31 something. So that's different. And then we got $270 from First National Bank and $100 from our new tattoo parlor over here. So I think that's the gist of it.
And I know there's some upcoming fundraisers. B. Kane is having a fundraiser before July, maybe 2, I'm not sure. So we've got more things happening to bring in some revenue.
The homemakers that usually does your,
Quarter auction,
the quarter auction, when is that coming up?
May 1st.
Okay.
the spring fling on the 25th.
And you guys are, make sure you share that about the, I know you've shared it, but you have to keep redoing it to remind everybody, because I've tried to remind people, and they're like, when? And I said, I put it on my page.
Yeah.
Not to go
We'll
through.
continue sharing,
Yeah.
yep. We'll continue reminding everybody.
And I've got a couple of things together for the quarter auction for you, too.
Cool.
I know the spring fling is doing the rabies clinic, and that was much needed for citizens to be able to get their rabies at a lower cost.
Yeah,
for
that's a big deal.
current- Yeah, we've been trying to work that out for several years. So, thank you all for getting that done, I appreciate it.
And then we have the next card. We're
Oh,
working
yeah.
with the vet. So we're working with the vet on a next card grant. So basically, it's a company that gets free medications from NexGard, which is flea, tick, and sometimes other stuff. So we get it free through our vet. So we have worked with Colonial Heights to get that taken care of, the vet there, so.
It was the one a couple months ago, the Greater Good Charities, that was in the report. It's kind of hit or miss. They email and say, hey, we've got this available, and then we say yes or no. So hopefully we'll get some stuff out of that we can use.
Wonderful.
Questions?
Anything for the co-directors this morning?
I got a question. Do you have a video of how you rounded up them chickens? I'd really love to see that.
We do not.
Honestly, it wasn't too hard. They were contained, so.
Yeah.
They were contained, so it wasn't too hard.
So what's the process next with that?
I mean, they're at my house now because the owner had medical and will not be returning home.
Oh, okay.
So they were just surrendered.
Okay.
So they stayed in quarantine for a while, and then I'm just like, okay, go. I don't know what else to do with them.
I mean, we can adopt them out if that's what you guys want to do, if you have a preference.
That's
but,
up to you. We were just curious.
To be honest, we weren't 100% sure. We don't want these guys to starve and die, so we're gonna go ahead and take them and get them cared for, so.
Yeah, one's injured. It lives in my basement. It is missing a leg. So, yeah.
One-leg chicken.
There's
know,
a lot
right?
of people
We're
out,
doing the
a lot
best
of people out in the county have chickens, so
Yeah.
you may have somebody speak up on those. so.
Yeah, well, that works.
And then the 2 baby sheep that we have also are currently living in my basement, still in bottles. So,
We're getting those guys weaned, and those guys, we do have an adopter for those guys already,
Yeah.
so.
Good.
I'm sure if you really want to get rid of the chickens, I see people on Facebook all the time looking for chickens.
they do not lay. They're old.
Oh,
Yeah.
So they're just like living out their best life at the moment. Not a single one has laid an egg.
I seen a video that these people reported having little goblins running around their yard. Come to find out it was chickens with glow-in-the-dark vests. So maybe put some glow-in-the-dark vest on them and everybody will want them.
There's always some sort of entertainment.
Yeah.
Judge, I would like to recognize Woody Graham and his wife were the ones that donated the cargo container.
Nice.
It was it's a very sincere and expensive donation. And I'd like to thank Woody and his wife and from Fleming County.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Absolutely, thank you.
Much needed
Very
and
much.
appreciated.
So they donated the 20-foot used cargo container that's going to be for their storage now.
If you can get me an address, they do thank you cards
Okay.
for those types of things.
I know they've got some information from B. Kane for them, but I'll take care of that also.
Okay, thank you. Anything else for the co-directors this morning? Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. We'll see you next month.
All right, see you next month. Have a good one.
Under new business, if there are no objections, I had put in for an 80/20 project, which is like an emergency fund project on Snag Creek for Stacy Floor and I got together. It's 80/20 bridge. It's for 2 culverts to be replaced. And out of the blue yesterday, they sent me a resolution and an agreement. And we cannot do these projects until we approve it, send it there, then they sign off on it and send it back. So if you guys want to wait 2 weeks to put it on an agenda prior to the meeting, we can. Or if you guys are okay with adding it today, we can approve it today.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and put it on and get it, because, anything, just hurry up and wait, so
So
let's go
Sandy
ahead and
Roof
do
has
it.
made an motion to
I'll
add it
second.
to the agenda, and Debbie Mayfield has seconded that. So this is just for the addition to the agenda, and we'll call for a vote.
Danny Holleran,
Yes.
Debbie Mayfield,
yes.
John Scott,
Yes.
Heather Brumley,
Yes.
Kevin Gerald,
Yes.
Judge Teagarden,
Yes.
Sandy Roof,
Yes.
Craig Miller,
Yes.
David Couch.
Yes.
First item we'll take a look at is a resolution, and that is giving me permission to sign off and apply for the reimbursement and everything that comes with it in the future. So, and this project will total for 2 culverts, they're going to fund $8,900 of it. And then the other 20% would come out of the road fund. So I will ask for a motion on the floor to approve the resolution.
Motion.
Motion by Sandy Roof. Do I have a second?
Second.
Kevin Gerald. Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Debbie Mayfield,
Yes.
John Scott,
Yes.
Heather Brumley,
Yes.
Kevin Jarrell.
Yes.
Judge Teagarden,
Yes.
Sandy Roof,
Yes.
Craig Miller,
Yes.
David Couch,
Yes.
Danny Holleran.
Yes.
The next approval I need is for the actual agreement between Bracken County Fiscal Court and the Transportation Cabinet. So I would need a motion on the floor to approve the actual agreement.
Motion.
Debbie Mayfield has made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Was that Craig Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
Any discussion? Call for a vote.
John Scott,
Yes.
Heather Brumley,
Yes.
Kevin Jarrell.
Yes.
Judge Teagarden,
Yes.
Sandy Roof,
Yes.
Craig Miller,
Yes.
David Couch,
Yes.
Danny Holleran,
Yes.
Debbie Mayfield.
Yes.
Thank you all. That just saves us 2 weeks of timing. I appreciate that. Moving on to the approval for the financials, we have a training incentive for Heather Brumley this morning. It's $5,445.28, and I will take a motion on the floor to approve her training incentive.
Motion.
Motion by Danny Holleran. Do I have a second?
Second.
Debbie Mayfield. Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Heather Brumley,
Abstain.
Kevin Jarrell,
Yes.
Judge Teagarden,
Yes.
Sandy Roof,
Yes.
Craig Miller,
Yes.
David Couch,
Yes.
Danny Holleran,
Yes.
Debbie Mayfield,
Yes.
John Scott.
Yes.
Moving on to general fund budget transfers, I will ask for a motion on the floor for approval.
Motion.
Kevin Gerald's made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
John Scott. Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Kevin Jarrell,
Yes.
Judge Teagarden,
Yes.
Sandy Roof,
Yes.
Craig Miller,
Yes.
David Couch,
Yes.
Danny Holleran,
Yes.
Debbie Mayfield,
Yes.
John Scott,
Yes.
Heather Brumley.
Yes.
Dispatch 911 fund budget transfers. I'll ask for a motion on the floor.
Motion.
Motion by John Scott. Do I have a second?
Second.
Was that Sandy Roof?
Yes.
Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Craig Miller,
Yes.
David Couch,
Yes.
Danny Holleran,
Yes.
Debbie Mayfield,
Yes.
John Scott,
Yes.
Heather Brumley,
Yes.
Kevin Jarrell,
Yes.
Judge Teagarden,
Yes.
Sandy Roof.
Yes.
General fund vendor claims. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
David Kelch. Do I have a second?
Second.
Kevin? Kevin Gerald. Any discussion? Call for a vote.
David Couch,
Yes.
Danny Holleran,
Yes.
Debbie Mayfield,
Yes.
John Scott,
Yes.
Heather Brumley,
Yes.
Kevin Jarrell,
Yes.
Judge Teagarden,
Yes.
Sandy Roof,
Yes.
Craig Miller.
Yes.
Road
I'm sorry,
fund-
hold on, I'm sorry, I gotta abstain from that. I have a
Abstain
reimbursement.
for Craig Miller.
I was looking at the road fund.
Road fund vendor claims. Do I have a motion on the floor?
So move.
Craig Miller. Do I have a second?
Second.
Danny Holler. Any discussion?
I got a question. Stacy, is all the T-rail, was that all for Thompson Ridge?
No, that was for another project that we've been approved.
Okay,
Was the middle section of Snag Creek.
okay, thank you.
We try to get them at the lowest price before they go
I was
up.
gonna say, that was a lot for just one.
That was two low ones.
All right.
So I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Call for a vote.
Craig Miller,
Yes.
David Couch,
Yes.
Danny Holleran,
Yes.
Debbie Mayfield,
Yes.
John Scott,
Yes.
Heather Brumley,
Yes.
Kevin Jarrell,
Yes.
Judge Teagarden,
Yes.
Sandy Roof.
Yes.
Jail fund vendor claims. Do I have a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Motion by Danny Holleran. Do I have a second?
Second.
David Kelch. Any discussion? Call for a vote.
David Kelch,
Yes.
Danny Holleran,
Yes.
Debbie Mayfield,
Yes.
John Scott,
Yes.
Heather Brumley,
Yes.
Kevin Gerald,
Yes.
Judge Teagarden,
Yes.
Sandy Roof,
Yes.
Craig Miller.
Yes.
Senior Citizens Fund vendor claims. Do I have a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Motion by Sandy Roof. Do I have a second?
Second.
John Scott. Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Danny Holleran,
Yes.
Debbie Mayfield,
Yes.
John Scott,
Yes.
Heather Brumley,
Yes.
Kevin Gerald,
Yes.
Judge Teagarden,
Yes.
Sandy Roof,
Yes.
Craig Miller,
Yes.
David Kelch.
Yes.
Dispatch 911 Fund vendor claims. Do I have a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Motion by John Scott. Do I have a second?
Second.
Heather Brumley. Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Debbie Mayfield,
Yes.
John Scott,
Yes.
Heather Brumley,
Yes.
Kevin Gerald,
Yes.
Judge Teagarden,
Yes.
Sandy Roof,
Yes.
Craig Miller,
Yes.
David Kelch,
Yes.
Danny Holleran.
Yes.
Another vendor claim, you have the invoice. It's United Direct Solutions, and that is going to be approved for our county clerk this morning. The total amount is $2,688.88. And this is all regarding election expenses for the 2026 primary.
Motion.
Motion by, was that David Kelch?
Yes.
Motion by David Kelch. Do I have a second?
Second.
John Scott. Any discussion?
Jennifer, does that cover every registered voter in the county?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, a postcard that was sent out to everybody.
Any further discussion? Call for a vote.
John Scott,
Yes.
Heather Brumley,
Yes.
Kevin Gerald,
Yes.
Judge Teagarden,
Yes.
Sandy Roof,
Yes.
Craig Miller,
Yes.
David Kelch,
Yes.
Danny Holleran,
Yes.
Debbie Mayfield.
Yes. Under other business, I just want to mention that Sheriff Bobby Booty has provided a quarterly report for you all to review this morning. The Bracken County Extension Co-op budget was put in your folders, and that is just for you all to have a copy every year and review. And we also want to let the record reflect that you received your financial statement ending March 31st. And I am still working along with the rest of the staff on the county budget. So if anyone has any interest or things they want us looking into, we're about to wind it up so that we can finish everything up. So give me a call if there's anything. It's better to know ahead of time the possible things that need to be added. So just let me know if anybody has any interest on that. I should be able to hand that out the next meeting, just so y'all can review it. It's due by May 1st.
I missed the one meeting Bill, it was the day that Bill had to go in the hospital. Craig, you'd brought it up and you'd asked Bobby a question, and I know he's not here today, but has he answered back in the response, because it's been over a month now, about the agreement that they signed back in May of last year?
Was
They
it the
had-
federal funding for the 287G?
At that time, he was going to reach out the next day to see if there were any definitive answers, but I don't know that as far as, anything is certain yet or not. So, I mean, I couldn't answer for him, no, ma'am.
Because I know in February, we went to the Sheriff's Association meeting they had, and they talked specifically about that, and about all comes with the 287 and with that agreement and the stuff that you guys all have to do. And I know that they said that you will be getting a $100,000 grant, and that at least half of it has to be used on a cruiser. So I didn't know. I know a couple of them, I think, have gotten their money. I didn't know if you guys had, heard anything yet about yours.
I know he had engaged with our point of contact with them, but as far as specifics, I don't know if we've actually gotten the specifics and down into the details on it yet. I know that whatever funding would come to us would be, basically essentially earmarked for the sheriff's office, and then depending on what that would be earmarked specifically for, I'm not certain exactly what it would be for.
We were told at that meeting, half of that 100,000 has to go on a cruiser. The rest of it you guys can do, however you choose, but they have to do a cruiser with that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not for sure exactly. And depending on where that information's coming from, that could be coming from the Sheriff's Association, or that, depending on what the government says or what, DHS says, could be two separate things, quite honestly.
I believe there was a gentleman there at the Sheriff's Association meeting from the Department of, was it
Homeland
ICE?
Security, Homeland Security, it was DHS, but
Yeah.
the only reason that I brought it up for Bobby was to ask whether it was going directly to the fiscal court general fund or the sheriff's budget separately, and that's what we were wanting to look into then, so that's the main question.
Yeah, I do know that any funding that would flow down would be specifically earmarked for the sheriff's office.
Okay, that's,
That's
that was the answer that nobody had in February at the Sheriff's Association.
To my knowledge.
It
yeah.
comes straight to the sheriff's budget. It does not go through ours.
Right, and in my understanding, it would be basically into a separate account even, to where we would have to create a separate
It would be like the
funding
federal
account.
fund.
Right,
Right.
Yeah.
correct. Basically what we do for our grants as well, so we can't, commingle funds if we get a grant and then commingle that with our general fund either. So it'd be a completely separate entity.
We
I-
actually have to open separate checking accounts for our stuff like that too as well. So that
I-
makes
I-
total sense.
I guess my only concern would be is if you knew in advance of us having to submit our budget, it would be, to me, a little foolish to have two cruisers coming out in the same fiscal year,
Right.
that the fiscal court could earmark what we were intending for a cruiser for the sheriff's office. We could put that money to other use or save or
And earmark
whatever.
one the following year.
Correct.
earmark it for the following year, yes.
Earmark it to
And-
the
and
following year.
And as far as the amount of funding goes, I'm not sure if that's gonna depend on county size or exactly how much of that funding is even gonna be available for what specific counties or what agencies are even participating. Because I would imagine, just spitballing here, I would think that, if Fayette County is participating, they would likely get a larger amount than what we would, just because of the sheer size.
Yeah, like
From the
Fayette and
from the
Louisville's always
information,
like on their own.
from the information from DHS from October on, it was $100,000 plus a percentage of up to 10 deputy salaries. So it's not a population issue, but it's, the funding that we were wanting to know would be regarding the cruiser amount. But the agreement for a sheriff's department, separate from a jailer's agreement, was $100,000 annually, potentially up to 3 years. And it's not, it hasn't been set in stone. It's a federal agreement that they don't know if it's going to continue or not. I mean, it's not good.
That's the downside.
Correct. But the original documentation from October was $100,000 plus a certain percentage of deputy salaries who have followed the training, completed the training, up to 10 total deputies. So, with us with 4, it's going to take that percentage for 4. In Fayette County, if they sign on, it'll go up to 10.
Sure.
So that's really what I think they're looking into and asking right now, so.
And I think we're all versed enough, when it comes to even grant money, you never bank on that grant money, because you just don't always know that it's gonna be there. So.
I know, as of this point, I think last I checked, there was 20 agencies so far in 20 counties, not counties, but agencies that have signed up. And we are definitely one of them.
Is there anything else that needs to be brought up?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I think the way that they talked, like, they were coming to you guys to train, but I think now, did they talk like it could be set up and done online, or,
There were virtual, I mean,
Yeah.
It's virtual training.
yeah, so, yeah, that's fine.
Judge, one other thing, Don Kelch has been putting together a program the last few months. It's a equine wellness day that's going to be held at the industrial park, the shelter area, this Saturday from 9 to 12. There will be an equine horse vet there to do different,
Hoggins and
free,
things like
free, or are they chargeable? I can't
That I'm
remember.
not sure.
I think it is, let me look on my, because I shared it, and I was reading it was free.
But that is this Saturday from 9 to 12 at the shelter area of the industrial park.
I seen the flyer, but I didn't see cost, or I wasn't sure if that was
Okay,
on
it
there.
says, join us for Equine Wellness Day in partnership with Dr. Haley and Kaylee Daniels of Tri-County Veterinary Services. It's, what will be offered is vaccines, Coggins, that's $30. The vaccines, I can't see, there we go.
I
the
do
vac-
think it's a discount
Yeah,
price.
yeah. Health papers, deworming, and it's a four-way. Vaccine is 35, a five-way, 65. Yeah, there's like a small charge for different ones, but, you know, that's a great service to, because it saves you not only having to get a vet to you or them to the vet, but paying for an office visit.
Is it the Hackney Association?
I think so.
I think it's the Hackney Association, I can't remember, but. It's a very good benefit for our horse lovers in Bracken County.
True. Anything else that needs to come before the court this morning? I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Danny Holleran, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, John
Second.
Scott?
Yeah.
Call for a vote.
Heather Brumley,
Yes.
Kevin Gerald.
Yes.
Judge Teagarden.
Yes.
Sandy Roof,
Yes.
Craig Miller,
Yes.
David Couch.
Yes.
Danny Holleran,
Yes.
Debbie Mayfield.
Yes.
John Scott.
Yes.